Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to become more proficient with performing anti-airs in games. So before we actually talk about that, it's actually important to have a good understanding as to which anti-air you should be using because it differs from character to character. So after having used Aaron Black since the beginning of this game really, I can tell you that the go-to anti-airs I use are standing 1, I use down 2 sometimes. Against Cabal, I'll use up Peacemaker, and I'll actually use back 2 up 4 sometimes if I'm feeling very confident. So those are my choice of 4 anti-airs. Occasionally, I might even go for down 3 to be honest, so there's 5 that I use. There's a time and place for each one of course, so I'll break that down in depth a little later on. So depending on which character you use, it will be up to you to figure out which anti-air you should actually be using. So let's get straight into how to do this. So basically what you're going to want to do is get comfortable with just anti-airing the AI. So set them to jump forward, because for the most part your opponent will jump forward at you in a game, and then it will be up to you to anti-air them. And don't just wait for them to come at you, because there will be instances in games in which they'll actually go over you. So practice anti-airing your opponent once they're over you. Oh, you can do something like that. Alright. You can do something like that. That's back 2 up 4 in effect. That's even more effective with slide cancels, but I don't have that on this variation. I just thought I'd quickly show you that. So just practice getting your anti-airs down. Just like that. Just get comfortable. Don't worry about combos just yet, because this is essentially step 1. So it's important to be comfortable with actually understanding the timing for your anti-air as opposed to just winging it and going for combos straight away, because you're not actually developing the fundamentals for it. So yeah, once you're comfortable with that, also before I move on, you can practice this on any character you want really. If you want to make it easy for yourself, you can pick a big character like Garrus, because Garrus has a huge hitbox, so you'll be more successful with your anti-airs in practice mode. But I'd say pick a female character, because if you can do this consistently on a female character, you'll be able to do it on pretty much any character in the game. So that's why I've got Sonya picked here. So you can do the same with just neutral jumps as well, because what will happen in games sometimes, you'll go for a grab maybe, and then you'll whiff, maybe your opponent will jump out if they make a read on a grab. So practicing like that's a pretty good thing as well. Just like that. Same thing there. So now that we've done that, now let's move on to step 2, which is actually doing the combos. So something simple like that, for instance. Oh. So that's the next step, because getting the anti-air is all well and good, but you actually have to make your opponent pay for it in game to hopefully prevent them from jumping. So jumping over, get that. See what I mean? Sometimes if I don't believe, I'll even do this. Hold up, let me see if I can. Oh. I even do that sometimes, because there are instances in a game where I think, okay, I might have this anti-air, but I don't know if I believe in it 100% for the time, because at the end of the day, you are playing MK11, so just bear that in mind. That's step 3, actually setting a recording for the AI to do a jump attack, and then getting comfortable with landing your anti-airs. Just like that. Just practicing getting the anti-airs with a jumping attack. You can even do the same thing with jumping 2. Ooh. Her jumping 2 is pretty bad. God damn. So you can practice that. Just getting the anti-air combos. So that is basically how you anti-air in this game. So now that I've gone over that, let's actually go over some scenarios in which your opponent may actually want to jump at you. So one common instance which I see in which people want to jump is after zoning, so they'll do something like that. and then come forward. So they'll want to close the gap. That's something they'll do. So if you see that, bang, anti-air them. So that's a pretty good drill to practice because some people will actually want to do that. Another thing people will do, this is something that happens to me a lot, I'm not even going to lie. People will want to jump. Actually, what's the best way of me recording this? So I'm plus there and I want to go for a command grab. Oh, sorry. People will jump out my command grab sometimes. So people may even do this with regular grabs, but with command grabs, sometimes people have jumping as their go-to, I guess, strategy to, you know, counteract command grabs. So that can even happen off down 4. Like maybe I'll go for that, and whoop, next thing you know, it's whiffed, and I'm getting full combo punished off of that. So that's the thing. That's also another thing you can practice. So let's go back to this. Make a jump. I'll make a neutral jump this time. So see? So that's gonna whiff. You know she's gonna jump, you can just dash up to him and get that. Or if you've got a move like a Peacemaker, just freaking do something like that. You know, you can practice that too. Same thing with this. Do the dash to feint the command grab or fake the grab. And then go in. And people may even do it on wake up as well, because they might anticipate a command grab on wake up, so you can do that. Sometimes people also jump at you in the corner because they want their plus frames when they jump. Ooh. That's another good thing to practice, just anti-airing people before they actually get you, so doing things like that. I don't know why she's breaking. Why are you breaking? Okay, +1. She broke again! Disobedient sod. Not like these. So you can just practice. Hopefully yours doesn't break away like mine is. Hold up. I actually don't know why this is happening. I know why. There you go, okay. So just practice getting your anti-air for that. Because a lot of people want to do this. From my experience, those are the main scenarios in which people actually want to jump at. People may even do this mid-screen, to be honest. So sometimes people might do something like this after they've got frame advantage or something, and then you'll block, whatever, and then something like that will happen in a game. That's something that happens quite a bit, so just practice that. Obviously she's going to break. My forward 3 is not here. It's taking a leave of absence. What the fuck? Where are you at? You know what, I'll stick to down 4. It's more reliable. I ain't low profile, so whatever. I'll take it. What they might also do, actually, let me think of something. Something like that. Sometimes people knock you down just to jump at you. And do something like this. That can be annoying, but yeah, there you go. You just have to get used to it and anti-air them. Like in this instance, I wouldn't use up Peacemaker because it's too freaking slow. So that's what I meant earlier when I said there's a time and place for each anti-air, when I basically listed all the anti-airs we use. Back 2 4 would be too unreliable because that's just gonna freaking, I mean, yeah, that's not happening. Standing 1 works fine. Sometimes if you've got a good poke for an anti-air, that can work as well because you can lower your hitbox. So a character like Frost, I'd imagine, would be able to deal with this just fine. But in this case, as Iron Black, I'm just going to standing 1, and that's going to work for me pretty much all the time. So in general, I'd say, based on my experience in games online anyway, those are the setups people use to implement their jumps into their game. So that is how you actually go about anti-airing. The thing is, anti-airs in this game especially will always just be a risk, because there is always a risk of your anti-air not working and you freaking exploding for it. That's what you have to become comfortable with. Like, based on my experience, I've gotten to the point to where it doesn't really matter which character you're using. If for the most part, if I see you in the air I'm gonna press, because even if I block this, I don't want to take these plus frames, because, you know, after the jumping 2 or jumping 3, a grab may come, command grab may come. My opponent may just walk back and just, you know, kind of leave me confused as to what's coming next. There are so many possibilities, and some characters can just mix, like Sony can just do that and go straight into a low off back 1. And, you know, you can stagger off the plus frames, get grabs going from there, whatever. So there's so many things you can do to overwhelm people, and I'd rather not. No, I'd rather deny you the chance of ever setting up. So I'd rather just stick the button out there and freaking kind of have my fingers crossed in that it actually catches them midair, because if not, I'm in for it. There's just no getting around that. But that's something I'm perfectly fine with.